Hello, everyone. As Rusty said, thank you guys so much for being here today. It's a very, very sad day for everybody here at our organization. Just reflecting on everything that's happening. So thank you guys, and thank you for your patience. I know it's very hot outside, so I want to start off by opening up with an official statement that we have on the situation. So this morning, Robert Price was arrested on allegations of sex offense related to minors from 2001 to 2011. These alleged events occurred almost a decade before Robert joined Camino, and when he did join, he joined as an employee around 2018. He began working with the church in an administrative role, coordinating adult programs and helping with project management in accordance with the parameters of his parole. He had no involvement with minors while he has been working here at Camino. We are fully cooperating with CMPD or Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. The safety of the people that we serve has always and will always be our top priority. Robert has been placed on administrative leave pending investigations. And that's the official statement that we have here at Camino. And I now want to welcome Rusty Price, CEO of Camino, here for any questions that you guys may have.
We have a program here called Recycle. It's one of our values. And so we have a few people on our staff that have felony convictions in the past. And we believe that, when people have failure in their life, that there is life after that. So it's our organization exists to help people. And in this situation, that was what we did, right? It was a second chance in life.
Knowing that this is a church and no children, or is a children's ministry, I understand he's not directly involved in that.
Right.
But why hire him? It's one thing for somebody to be a member of the church.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite another for them to be an employee. There may have been other adults around, and he wasn't directly dealing with the kids, but he's still an employee.
In our program, we consulted with our attorneys to make sure there's no infractions of laws. Also, we have very, very tight policies that he has adhered to the whole time. And so his contributions to the church were dealing with staff primarily. And again, it's a thing of redemption.
Some of your members who were at the other church, Kingsman, obviously were concerned, bothered by the interactions that they saw your brother having with kids, I guess with everybody. So how can you explain that, and whether or not you were able to make sure he stayed on the straight and narrow?
You mean, could you say that again, the first part of the question?
What I'm saying is that there were people inside your church here at Camino who was aware of what had happened.
In the past, right?
In the past, and they complained to CPD.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite your assurances that he was on the straight and narrow, not everybody bought that.
Yeah.
What would you say about that?
Yeah, I would say that, again, according, with our policies and procedures and the things that have been in place, we have never received a direct complaint since he's been here at this place, right? And the allegations are in that same time period that things were, our awareness was that was dealt with, that was paid for. And so to this point, there had been no cause of concern or no complaints to us internally. And now today, with this revelation of what's happened, again, we're devastated with what's happened. And again, I've never heard any personal complaints. We've never had any staff that have been complained to. So that's we were operating under what our perspective has been. And again, with very strict rules that, from our perspective, he has been passionate about, right? Anytime there's kids' events, he doesn't come on campus and those kind of things. And
Did the congregation know about his past?
many do. It's not the first announcement we make when people come to the church, but also we don't hide it. So over time, people have asked questions, and we're always very transparent with what happened in the past. And again, I believe that, first of all, truth. We should never be afraid of truth, right? And so that's one of the reasons I want you guys to be here, so we can say, hey, here's everything we know and see. And so we've dealt with that in the same way with our congregation. And we have, people with all kinds of difficulties in their past. And so it's that delicate balance, right, of trying to give a space for people to be able to have a new life and grow, and at the same time protect the community that we love so much. So there is no, there's no public announcements about his past, but at the same time there was never an attempt to not talk about it when anybody had a concern.
Was your brother an associate pastor?
He was administrative, and in our world, titles sometimes get crazy. People will refer to him as Pastor Bobby. And so when you say administrative, he met with staff members to help guide with programming and things like that. He gave the welcome on Sundays, those types of things. As far as the direct interaction with people, we have a fairly large staff and congregation, so he's not in people's homes. He's not directly leading programs himself, but he would lead staff meeting, help with strategic planning, those things.
Your brother was convicted of predatory behavior. And given that there are experts out there who would say that someone who has done that should never be given a, quote, supervisory role simply because that could be manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
How would you justify that?
I would say that, again, in the context here, he was not top-level management. He had supervision. He had accountability. And again, over the last years that he's been here, we've had no complaints, no cause for concern of anything present and still to this day, there are no present things that have come up, except for the fact, right? I mean, not trying to deflect of what is going on. I mean, this is a big topic and a big story to talk about, right? So, but we're operating under this understanding that his offenses and his issues in the past had been dealt with. Now he is in a new space, give new opportunity in a very controlled environment, and that's how we've been operating.
Is there any concern for more victims possibly coming up in the past?
When you say concern, I would say this: we would encourage anybody that has been victimized to please come forward. So please understand this too. My desire is not here. I'm not here to stand and try to protect my reputation or my brother's reputation. We love our community. We serve people every day that are victimized by so many things. And so we would never intentionally do something to put people at high risk. And so again, today we are all reeling here with what has happened. At the same time, I have some hope that because of these allegations being from a 20-year-ago thing, and there hasn't been anything current, but yes, if there are more victims, please step up. And we are collaborating in every way with CMPD. We have a former officer on our staff who's been in constant communication today. This is not a case of some big religious organization trying to cover up a bunch of things and move people around at all. we serve every day with everything we have this community, and that's why I want you to be here, right? I want you to come. I want you to see. I want you to walk around. I want you to feel what this place is, and also know that this is a tragedy, right? This is a sad day. It's hard for our organization. It's hard for our staff. We've got Sunday coming up. That's going to be a tough day, you know, and so we're working through all these things, and but again, I mean, I believe with all my heart that each one of us, if there's brokenness or failures in life, that there's life after that, and we operate under that premise here, and so yeah, we are very concerned for anybody that has been victimized, and are willing and desire to help anybody any way we can.
All of these charges,
Sorry.
all of these charges are from the old church.
Correct. Correct.
How confident are you that there are no victims from it? And I know he hasn't been charged with it.
Yeah,
But I think that's.
you know, I'm gonna stand here and speak from pure emotion, and I'm very confident that there aren't. And as a church, we're going to be dealing with this. In fact, we have a large set group of psychologists and licensed counselors here on our campus, and so even Sunday, we're going to encourage people, and we will investigate and dig deep here as well. But I'm very confident, again, because of his role at the church, because of the interactions, because of his own personal discipline of staying away. You know, that's my full expectation. But again, in order to make sure that this has to be a trusted place, right? I mean, if people can't go to a place and feel trusted or feel trust, then we can't help people. And so we're going to do everything that we can to ensure that there has not been anything, and if there has, then we will work with the authorities as well.
You have two families, Camino and your family, your brother. The graciousness that you allow us to sit here and be transparent with us is one thing, protecting your community. The other, protecting your brother and loving your family. Speak to that dynamic and what it does for you and your communities. It's an interesting
It is.
Juxtaposition.
And you got to know something. I love my brother. I love my brother. And, you know, as a family, we've walked through some very tough times. And so just on that personal level, this is a tough day. But at the same time, here, as an organization, family is at home. When we're here, we work together. This is an employee. So that I have to segregate those two completely, right? And so the organization is bigger than family, and our community is so much more. It's worthy of so much more. And man, I've given my life. I want to continue to give my life to serve our community. And so when these things come up, you know, it is a difficult decision. You know, inside me, there's this desire to say, hey, I want to tell all you guys, please don't come. I want to tell all you guys, oh no, you don't know what I know about him, right? But again, I mean, I think today is the day to let the community know that we'll stand with our community, and we're gonna serve our community, and we're gonna do our very best to help everybody in our community. And as an organization, we will continue to work to be a place of integrity, but also grace, right? To be a place of transparency, but also not sell people out because of things in the past. And it's just a very delicate balance. And thank you for asking that question.
Have you been in touch with him or
I have
parents
not.
today?
I haven't. I have been in touch with my mom. My father passed away, and yeah, she's having a hard time today. And his wife called me this morning at, I think it was around 9 o'clock, And so this is all real new as well. You know, this isn't something that we have, oh no, this has gotten out. We've come to this awareness. This is real time for us, right? So, but thank you for that question.
Did you know about the investigation, or did you find out about it?
No, I had no idea about an investigation. And I would say if I would have, we would have operated differently. I mean, if we would have gotten a phone call, and I understand why they wouldn't, right? But we would have made decisions prior to, you know, do our own investigation of those things.
What would that entail?
I'm not sure, but I just know that, you know, we deal with things as it comes to us, and so I would assume that if I would have heard about that a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have called together wise people and said, hey, how should we deal with this? And I would have implemented that. One thing, I mean, again, you guys don't know me, right? But the people that do know me, they do know that I want to do the right thing always. And again, that, you know, you have that you risk to help people. You never know what's going to happen when you try to help somebody. And again, in this case, these allegations are from 20 years ago, so it was that time that, in my mind, had been dealt with. It had already been buried. And so, you know, the way I frame life is that Christ brings hope and resurrection in people's lives. And so, you know, that's how we've been operating. And so today, again, we're making big decisions, big changes, and we're also working with Charlotte Police to say this is an investigation still, right? And so I don't want to make assumptions of guilt or innocence either. That's not, you know, that's not for me to do. But I really, really, really want our community to know that we value them and that we love them and that we want to serve them and help them. And our church is different than a lot of churches. And I'm a church guy, right? I grew up in church. And I think church has become an industry where we have a pipeline and you have a focus. You know, you want to reach this kind of person, and there's this whole industry behind it, and you try to get big so you can get a lot of money. Our church isn't that way. Many Sundays we'll give all our offering away to families in need in the church. We exist to help the people that other churches don't want. Other churches give money to a nonprofit to deal with them. So, again, for me, I'm not worried about an industry or anything like that, but we really want to serve our community well.
You said you weren't trying to hide from his past. When someone brought this up to me as a concern back in 2018, when I checked you on the website, he was not listed as a staff member. I know he was hired then, but I just checked today, he's also not listed. Has he ever been on the website?
He's not on the website, and he works in a managerial position, and yeah, he's not been on the website. I'm sure he's been in posts and things like that, and it's not to try to hide him or his past from people here, because again, this is a community. So when people come into the community, there's communication that happens, and so we have regular conversations about this, but it's not an attempt to hide that from our congregation.
Because he speaks at the congregation. He's
Yeah.
there.
In terms of, there are a lot of people out in the community, and some crimes obviously carry much bigger
Yep.
stigma than others. And this is one in which, you know, a lot of people like, just write you off.
Yeah.
No future, stay away, whatever. Do you think what you have been doing fights that?
I hope it fights that. You know, I think there's hope for people. I think people can make terrible mistakes. I mean, we have on our, you know, our other organization, we do a lot around behavioral health, and people people are broken, but I think they can get fixed. And I think our society has this cruelty sometimes that when somebody has faced what they did and paid for what they did, there's no place for them in society. And in fact, we've helped many other people who have come that are incredible people that couldn't get jobs anywhere. They couldn't get housing anywhere. And so again, I want to always advocate for people, even after they've been broken, to say there's hope. I mean, if there's not hope, we can live without faith. You know, a lot of people don't have faith. You can live without love. You're lonely. But you can't live without hope. And I think in our society, if we need anything, it's hope. And so if there's no hope for redemption, if there's no hope for second chances, then I think we're in a bad way. Again, I think this is a hard day for us. This is a tough time, and we're committed to do what's right. We're committed to be transparent. We're committed to serve. We're committed to help anybody that comes to us that has been hurt. We're committed to continue to investigate, not trying to be, you know, aloof or acting like these particular types of things aren't very devastating for people. But I'm not gonna change of my approach to our community and saying somebody's messed up. I think people can get better. I think they can have second chances.
And we'll have one more question.
I am a preacher. I can stand here and talk all day, although this is not very comfortable. But yes.
I'm going to ask this in English, and I'll have a couple of questions in Spanish. But you mentioned you're collaborating with the police. Is Camino doing an investigation on their own as well?
We haven't started yet, right? Again, we just found out that this morning, so we will be getting together with our leadership and with legal advice, and we will follow through with all of those things. So again, we haven't started an investigation, but we will work with CMPD in everything they ask us to do.
¿Le puedo contestar en español? ¿Y le voy a hacer preguntas en español? Sí, puedo contestar.
Perfecto. Entonces, ahora en español. ¿Ustedes estaban al tanto de lo que había pasado con el señor Price? ¿Bajo qué pretexto fue contratado para trabajar en Camino?
Sí. Eso fue hace años, ¿no? Y él ya fue encarcelado, y cuando salió, nosotros ayudamos a muchas personas cuando salen de la cárcel, ¿no? Tratando de dar esperanza. Entonces eso fue parte del programa que tenemos que se llama Reciclamos. Reciclamos cosas, edificios, todo. Creemos que toda la creación tiene gran valor, incluyendo las personas. Entonces, abajo de este pretexto, esta filosofía, le involucramos primero, y luego él comenzó a trabajar en un área de mantenimiento, y de allí comenzó a servir más como administrativa, ayudando personas, el equipo, el staff, ¿no? De cómo estrategia eso, pero con muchas políticas y muchas reglas para proteger a todas las áreas de menor. Pero como digo, nosotros aquí siempre creemos que personas pueden tener segunda oportunidad, y hasta ahora estamos confiados de que por el hecho que estas acusaciones, estas cargas son de hace muchos años, 20 años, que no hay algo nuevo presente, de que él está tratando cosas de su pasado y no cosas de su presente, pero como organización es muy presente, ¿no?
Bueno, esta es la misma pregunta que había hecho, pero lo voy a hacer en español.
Okay.
¿Camino está realizando su propia investigación?
Estamos colaborando con la policía y vamos a reunir el liderazgo. Acabamos de enterar de eso, y vamos a hacer todo lo que tenemos que hacer para asegurar que no haya víctimas actuales presentes, ¿no? Entonces no hemos comenzado, pero como digo, eso es la idea, es que vamos a hacer todo lo que tenemos que hacer para asegurar que este lugar es un lugar seguro y que la gente puede venir aquí protegidos para recibir la ayuda que queremos dar y ellos necesitan.
También cuando estábamos hablando previamente, escuché lo que tú dijiste de que es un momento muy difícil para tu familia, que ustedes no quieren ocultar nada. ¿Has estado en contacto con tu hermano?
No he tenido ninguna comunicación con mi hermano. Hablé con su esposa, mi cuñada, y cuando me enteré yo llamé a mi mamá, pero no he estado en comunicación con él.
Y también está mencionando que el señor fue puesto en el administrative leave. Él, aunque no esté desempleando sus funciones como empleado, ¿sigue recibiendo su salario? ¿Sigue recibiendo paga?
No va a recibir pago en ese momento.
Y también, ¿cuán seguros están de que no hay casos en camino? De que todos estos casos de años pasados, pero
Yeah.
no hay ningún actual.
De todo lo que hemos visto y las reglas y las medidas que tenemos puesto, él ha observado todo lo que hemos pedido y confiamos de que no haya nada nuevo. Esperamos y confiamos, sin embargo, vamos a estar haciendo todo lo que sea necesario para asegurar y escuchar. Ya estamos invitando personas que si han tenido preocupaciones o han tenido experiencias, que por favor que vengan a reportar.
Pero también previamente mencionaron que no tenían por el momento alguna acusación de frente de que esto haya ocurrido en
Sí.
camino.
Sí, no hemos recibido ninguna queja en los años que él ha estado aquí, no hemos recibido ninguna queja de alguien directo, ni una familia, ni alguien que ha observado nada. Y por eso digo, eso para nosotros es una gran sorpresa.
Did you say something about talking to Jill? To his wife earlier?
Yes, I spoke to his wife. She was the one that called me and informed me, and that was around 8:45, 9 o'clock, something like that.
And how is she and her children doing?
Again, she's very sad and shocked. Again, a complete shock, and it's yeah. So.
And his official, he was not an associate pastor. What is his official title?
We would call him executive, right? He was an executive the term pastor is squishy, so he was like the executive manager of programming for church. Yeah, executive pastor.
La misma pregunta, pero en español, cuando vimos el comunicado de CMTV, él estaba listado como un pastor.
Yeah.
¿Él desempleaba sus funciones o cuál era su cargo?
Sí, y como digo, el término pastor tiene provoca muchas cosas. El rol aquí era, él ayudaba con la planeación estratégica de programas y él ayudaba a coordinar y como manejar el equipo que tenemos aquí, pero no estaba muy involucrado en cosas directas con la congregación. Está aquí, ¿no? Y daba la bienvenida los domingos y estas cosas, pero su rol era más administrativa que una cosa de, no estaba en las casas de las personas, estas cosas.
También mencionaron que no tuvo contacto con niños.
Ninguno jamás, y cualquier evento de niños que teníamos aquí o tenemos aquí, él ni vendría aquí al campus. Él siempre se mantenía afuera y eso fue parte de las medidas que tenemos aquí.
Would you say that CMPD is mistaken when they call him a associate pastor?
I don't know that I would call it mistaken. I would say that, again, in every church, that term is very, what I'm saying, it's different with every term. I mean, I think what, when I say pastor, people that I pastor, like, whatever their experience with pastor will, come up, and it's like, oh, I'm sitting with you, I'm helping you, those kind of things. Like in this role here as pastor, what I do at the church is I preach on Sunday. That's my role, but I'm not making hospital visits and things like that. And so his role was one of leading staff, programming, those kind of things, but it wasn't very pastoral in that nature. But again, I mean, they can put the title there. The reality is he works here. I mean, so again, tomato. I mean, I don't want to try to. I don't want you guys to think that we're trying to mince words, and that's not it.
Last question.
We're not aware of any law in North Carolina that requires churches to do background checks on their employees. Even, I mean, obviously if it's a daycare worker,
Right.
teacher,
Yep.
or something like that with kids, but otherwise, do you guys do that? Do you guys take that? I mean, we do, obviously, of this
No, no,
conversation.
yeah. Well, we do background checks on all people who deal with children, all volunteers, and again, it's super high accountability. We have a security team that is phenomenal, and so there's eyes everywhere, and I mean, we've worked hard at creating a very safe environment here. So, yes, we do background checks.